Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everybody? Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? What is up? Man, it's good to be back streaming. I was supposed to be streaming last week. And then, well, if you've seen my community post, then you know what happened. Blackouts are kind of a bitch. It's like the worst possible timing as well. But hey, you know, we make do. We're still here. Hopefully nothing bad happens. Hopefully the power is not gonna go out during the stream or during movie night later on. But what is up, everybody who are watching the stream? Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Oh, chat is not. Hold on. I need to. Always gotta go to like live chat and not top chat when it comes to YouTube. What is up, everybody? Mike, hello. There's a bunch of stuff that I am planning on for this stream. And keep in mind, once again, this stream is only going to be like an hour and a half. Because after that, we're going to be doing movie nights on Patreon. We're going to be watching Kiki's delivery service. Again, this was supposed to be last week. Everything that I have planned for today's stream supposed to be last week. But yeah, Ergo Hash, hello. But yeah, we're gonna be. I'm gonna be checking out like a bunch of movie news, a bunch of anime news as well. That have been kind of circulating around over the weeks. Since we last stream. The Oscars also released its like nominations list like last week, which is again the reason why this was supposed to be last week's stream. I was supposed to be talking about the Oscars last week, but you know. What else happened? You know, this week, you know, is anything particular happened this week? I don't know, you know, Epstein files, you know. You know, not much, you know. Huh. Hold on. Just make sure that I have stuff ready. It's been a very eventful first month of the year. Let's just put it that way. You know, like last year's was kind of well, I mean, last year's was pretty, you know, a lot of stuff happened last year's as well, but this year we're kicking up a notch. You know, the second half of the 2020s, shit is about to go down. Sandor Brandonson happened. Yes. We'll talk about that as well. You know what? Let's just talk about that first, since you brought that up. Hang on, let me move the YouTube chat over here. Okay, so let me just go. Boom. All right. First things first that I do want to talk about. No, not this one. This one. So, like a couple of days ago, this was just announced. And I have not read the Cosmere. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I have not read the Cosmere. Okay, I have not read Mistborn. I have not read the Stormlight Archive. But this is huge. Right? This is huge. One of the most acclaimed fantasy authors and one of the most acclaimed fantasy series, at least in like the modern day and age, getting an adaptation that is picked up by Apple TV out of all streaming sites. Like, I feel like this is like an absolute win. Like, I'm seeing like some of the responses from like the people who have read, like the Cosmere and, like fans of Brandon Sanderson, and they have been nothing but super pump and positive. Me I will preface this by saying that I do want to read them eventually. It's like one of those fantasy series that I do want to buy the books and want to read them physically. Like I could just, read them online. I could just read a digital version that is always available and much more available for me, because trying to find like an English original version of a book is super hard around here and also super expensive. But yeah, it's one of those book series that I want to read. I want to get into, probably before the adaptation is released. Like for once, I'm gonna be watching a fantasy TV show or a TV movie where I've already read the books. Like looking back at like my experience with like Game of Thrones, for example, I still have not read any of the books, even though I do want to, but I want to put them, maybe, like somewhere around here on like the bookshelf, that'll be sweet. That reminds me, I need to watch yesterday's live stream from Brandon. He talked about it yesterday. I think he talks a lot, he, from what I know, Brandon Sanderson's is very active online. He has a very prominent YouTube channel. He's on Reddit every now and again. And from what I've heard, he's just a genuine good dude. But yeah, this is exciting for me because now I have something to look forward to. Potential reaction on the channel. Who knows? But it's also really exciting considering like I'm hyped for this. I'm hyped for this and I have not read the books. This is, I would say that this is almost like on the level of when they announced Dune was gonna be adapted by Denis Villeneuve. Like when that was announced, I was like, oh, color me intrigued. I have not read Dune, but I know a bit of Dune. So I was like, there's a bit of knowledge going into that, but still, bro knows how to do marketing and connect with the audience. Exactly. Like, also the thing about like this news that really, that was really interesting for me, like he is hands on deck when it comes to like the adaptation. Like he is, wonder if they talked about it here. But yeah, but as far as I know, like he is like writing the screenplay for like the Mistborn film adaptation. Like he's gonna be like not just as a consultant, but he's also gonna be like super involved with his own project in this, which is like way more than most authors could possibly hope for. Like if you look at like George, like George R.R. Martin and Game of Thrones, and how that turned out. And how it's still turning out in regards to like House of the Dragon and whatnot. Even though like Even though I still kind of like House of the Dragon, like I like season 2, but like like the knowledge of the author not having a wonderful relationship with like the showrunners is a pretty damning thing if if you think about it, So here's hoping for the best in this regard. Like I'm excited for this. And Apple TV, come on. Apple TV is just like they are on a roll, like not that I want to, lick the boots of like a company like Apple, but like their streaming division, they're kind of cooking, you gotta admit they're kind of cooking. You got Pluribus, you got Severance. There's a bunch of other stuff, like Silo. Like I still haven't seen that. That was also like a book adaptation, and there's like so many more stuff that is like on Apple TV Plus. I like the studio. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. So like, this is perfect. This is like the like back in the day, like we got HBO and they're adapting Game of Thrones. This is Apple TV's Game of Thrones. Like this is something that they are gonna be like I would imagine that this is gonna be like gonna span the next 10 or so years, like this is gonna be a long project. The Foundation is a must. Oh yeah, Foundation as well. Yes. Chira, yes. Foundation is another show that I do want to watch eventually. Which is again also on Apple TV. Like they're just taking up all of the good stuff. Which fair point. You want to beat the competition, you gotta give us the bangers. Netflix on the other hand, they struck gold with Dark, and then that's it. They kind of fumbled the bag. Like what do they have now? Stranger Things, that's over. And then Amazon with the Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings. And I've only seen like the first season of that. It was fine. I know a lot of people hate it more. I don't hate it as much as most people, but even I know that, despite that, the Rings of Power is kind of a letdown from Amazon. Like they thought they had it in the bag, and it wasn't really it wasn't really the critical success that they were hoping for. And then they canceled 1890. Yeah, I still need to watch that, but like, I don't know, man. It's like 50-50 for me. It's like, well, I do want to watch it, but like, I know it's not gonna go anywhere, but I do still want to watch it eventually. I don't know. If Dark fans continue to pressure me into watching 1890, then I will check it out. But yeah, this is some really good news. All right. That was one of the news. Speaking of Game of Thrones, this is something that I just recently discovered. Gendy Tartakovsky, for those of you who don't know, he is a legendary animator who created, like some classic stuff, from Cartoon Network, like Dexter's Laboratory, the original Clone Wars, before they did like the 3D Star Wars Clone Wars stuff. Like there's the 2D Clone Wars stuff, and that is from him. And currently speaking, he's making like Primal. Like he's kind of the GOAT. He's kind of the GOAT. He has some stinkers here and there. We don't talk about like the animated dog movie that that revolves around them trying to cut like their balls or something. We don't talk about that. But what I find interesting about this is animated Game of Thrones. This is the thing that interests me. Animated Game of Thrones. I'm kind of hyped. I'm kind of hyped. I do want to see animated Game of Thrones. We'll see. I don't know what kind of style he's gonna go with when it comes to this, because he's usually like 2D animated, and I'm guessing that it's probably gonna be 2D animated as well. But I don't know, man. It's like one of those like Game of Thrones spin-offs that once again I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. Let's see where this goes. You know? Apparently, the devs of Dark and 1890 are still contractually obligated to do shows for Netflix, even then they had a 3-season plan laid out for 1890. I would feel crushed. I would feel crushed as well. They have another show planned, right? I'm pretty sure they have another show on the way. It's like adapted from a book or something. Till. Yeah, whatever this is. And it's 1899. But yeah. Cool stuff. This is just me being kind of excited for an animated Game of Thrones show and whatever. Here's some ungood news. AI slop. Chat, how do we feel about AI slop? AI slop from none other than the master plagiarist himself. If you don't know who Darren Aronofsky is, he is a Hollywood director. He's done quite a few films that are pretty well acclaimed. Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, to name a few. Also known plagiarist of Satoshi Kon anime films. So this is like not a surprise from me. The reason why I'm bringing this up is just that this kind of news is just depressing to me. Like, okay, we have now reached a point where they're really trying to push the AI slot machine as mainstream and like if a really if a really prominent Hollywood director or whatever is attached to it, then maybe it's not that bad. But I'm glad that there's so many pushback to this. Like look at the amount of reposts for this. Like, people are talking about this, and not in a good way. Not in a good way. I'm not gonna play this because it's I'm not gonna play slop. I'm not gonna play slop on my channel. But this shit is just not good news. Not good news, but not really surprising coming from Darren Aronofsky once again. Requiem for a Screen. All right. Up next, I want to talk about the last person to use AI is Manabu Otsuka. Speaking of which, here's some interesting news. Netflix and MAPPA strengthens strategic partnership, aiming to co-create a world-class animation studio model, so the headline says. Now, we know this is not like major news or whatever, considering, like we have had other you know, anime. We have had like Studio Mappa exclusive, Netflix releases in the past. We know that. Did you see Markiplier's Iron Lung? I have not. It has not been. It's not here yet. I don't know if it's gonna be released internationally. I do want to check it out though. Because I'm hearing like genuine good stuff about it. Like a lot of people were like genuinely surprised and were being pretty positive about the film. So yeah, I do want to check it out eventually. But yeah, moving on to this. The reason why I'm kind of bringing this up is because I don't know, man. There's there's some positives and there's some negatives for this. There's some positives and there's some negatives, and there are some examples of positives and negatives. Positives being, if they were to release Netflix exclusives, right? I would say that would mean the studio has more freedom to put what they could on screen. Like less censorship, for example. The part of the, I guess, problem of like some of the animes that are released right now is that because it is a simultaneous release on like Japanese broadcast as well, which has strict rules in regards to like censorship or whatever, you get stuff like ghosting, you get stuff like dim screens and whatever to reduce like epilepsy and whatever, and then of course actual censorship. Bypassing all of that, you get something like Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Studio Trigger could not have made Cyberpunk Edgerunners if it was broadcasted on like normal Japanese TV, as far as I'm concerned. That show being on Netflix lets the studio just do whatever the fuck they can. And it paid off, right? On the other hand, the release schedule, or like the release model, we gotta see how they're gonna handle that. Because as somebody says here, like KR makes films, JoJo's kind of went off the map after the Netflix release because they kind of released it all at the same time, I believe, or something along, something like that. And obviously that hurts kind of like the general weekly discussion of these shows. And then of course, the fact that they are, Netflix usually releases shows, all at once. Not all the times, but usually, like that's like the Netflix model, right? That is kind of concerning considering, like who the studio that we're talking about here, They're already being crunched enough. I know I know the situation is kind of getting better over there, but still though, being told, hey, you gotta get this done right now because we're releasing 12 episodes at once and you cannot, you cannot keep working on like the next episode as you could have, for example. So there's like some pros, there's some cons to this. I don't know, man. My hope, the positive, as I said, the hope is that this will allow the studio to take more bolder approach in their adaptation, being less constrained to the rules of Japanese broadcasting, now that they can just do whatever they can on a streaming platform. But on the other hand, there's also like, look at Studio Wit. Studio Wit has done so much anime originals over on Netflix. Nobody talks about them and nobody knows about them. Like there's a new Studio Wit anime releasing this season all of the episodes are out, nobody talks about it. Nobody even knows what it's called, even though from what I've seen, there's like some, it has some pretty good ratings. Hang on, let me... Love Through a Prism is the name. Like, Studio Wit, right? Studio Wit. These are like the stuff that they release on Netflix, I believe. Moonrise? Anybody watch Moonrise? Moonrise watchers? Anybody in chat watch Moonrise? I was kind of excited for this, and then I just kind of forgot about it, and then I just never watched it. And from what I've heard, it's not really that great. Same thing with like Great Pretender. Like, this was back in the day, People still watch this show. I remember this. Nowadays, I don't think a show like this would have gotten the traction that it had back then. Oh yeah, they made Bubble. Forgot about that. This was also like a Netflix film. But yeah. Ooh, that is a hot take. That is a hot take. Frankenstein, which looked horrible, that is a hot take. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really comment on it. But, I don't think JJK Season 3 would look the way it does if it was released on Netflix. I haven't seen Season 3 yet, so I cannot comment on it. But let's say I look at Season 2, for example. I don't know. I don't know. Like, again, like it depends on like what kind of like ultimately it all depends on like the schedule. I know it's just like the most basic answer, but it does, depend on the schedule, but it also depends on like what Netflix is, what kind of contract Netflix has, right? For example, Studio Wit is busy with the PewDiePie collab. Yes, that is very true. And they also... Why did you remind me of the Studio Wit AI anime nonsense, man? That was grim. That was a grim day for Studio Wit fans. Anybody remember that? The Studio Wit AI anime? That was a grim day. Season 2 and Season 3 are day and night difference in cinematography? Wait, really? Okay, hold on. You say day and night difference in cinematography between Seasons 2 and Season 3. Are we talking about... Like which part of Season 2 are we comparing it to? Because Hidden Inventory cinematography is also night and day with Shibuya Incident cinematography, by the way. So which cinematography are we talking about here? Because I do think Hidden Inventory direction and cinematography wise is leagues better than than the Shibuya incident. Even though the Shibuya incident had some incredible, like action choreography. Talking about Shibuya, oh, okay. Like cinematography. Okay, second question though. Cinematography in terms of like what? Cinematography in terms of like the action direction, or just like as a whole? Because JJK, again, like if JJK slows down and we're just having like the small talks, for example, they do look banging. And that's kind of the reason why I like Hidden Inventory more, because there's, less fighting in there. Like Shibuya Incident is just like one fight after, it's literally one battle after another, right? It's just like fight, which, not a bad thing, but talking about Shibuya, huh? Season 3 over Hidden Inventory over Shibuya, in my opinion. Oh. Well, you guys will probably get my Season 3 reaction. Maybe not right now, because, to put it simply, the market is oversaturated with JJK reactions. Like, I'm just gonna sit this one out for a bit, I'm gonna sit this one out. Plus, I got a lot on my plate already. But I will get to it eventually, maybe once like the Blu-ray is out, and once everybody kind of cooled down a bit. Because I mean, hey, it kind of worked. I mean, that kind of worked with my season 2 reactions. I watched that like a year after season 2 ended, and people still came in. So who knows? We shall see. Ooh. The thing is, most Western or outside Japan is loving season 3, but the Japanese audience is like 20% did not like season 3 at all. Oh no. I'm getting deja vu. Is this... Are we getting a Chainsaw Man situation all over again? It's too cinema. It's too cinematic. Why are they making it like a film? It's too cinema. Roll it back. Are we having this conversation once again? That's kind of crazy though. Not that it is surprising. It's low-key a Chainsaw Man situation? Oh no. Oh no. The same history, the same mistakes. Now I am kind of curious to see how season 3 stacks up against season 2 and other Studio Mappa works as well. Like I'm curious to see like how season 3 of JJK stacks up with like the Chainsaw Man movie, for example. Because I've always talked about this. I talked about like how the Jujutsu Kaisen Chainsaw Man production in Studio Mappa is like a symbiotic relationship in my eyes, because once a project ends, it kind of influences how the other project looks like, and vice versa. Because like you look at like season 1 JJK, and that kind of evolves to like the direction of Chainsaw Man. And then from Chainsaw Man, it evolves to like season 2 JJK. And then from that, it evolves to like the Chainsaw Man movie. So I'm kind of like comparing that, in terms of like the evolution of like their production, because it's like I'm looking at two juggernauts of shonen anime adaptations by the same company, by the same studio, where there is a drastic difference between the first season and the second season. Or in the case of Chainsaw Man, like the first arc and like the second arc, I guess. And again, like to be fair, like in regards to like JJK and Chainsaw Man, it's like, well, we got like one of the episode directors of JJK to to create Chainsaw Man, right? Nakayama. And then from that we go to like, all right, well, now we have like this, now we have Goso directing JJK season 2, and then now we have what's the guy's name that directed Chainsaw Man, the Reise movie. But yeah, like it's always like an evolution. It's like they're constantly trying to find this style that suits them, and I feel like they kind of got it. Like I feel like Studio Mappa now has found its style. Because JJK still looks, season 1 of JJK looks like any other shonen show. And the thing that really got people's attention is, like the action choreography, for example. And then Chainsaw Man kind of like, okay, what do we have that? Let's give it some cinema. To the people's dismay, like, no! And then JJK season 2 is kind of like the response to that. I feel like nowadays you can tell when an anime is made by Mappa. Yeah, pretty much. Hello, XJelly. What the movie you were going to be reacting to in the YouTube thumbnail? I'll think about it. Otsuke's big gamble is to use Hollywood reference more in his anime to attract more audience, which is the most Japanese audience does not like. See, this is the thing that is kind of like messing with my mind here, because people say like Hollywood references, and I'm like, it's not really Hollywood references. Like cinema is cinema. Like Hollywood is inspired by Japanese cinema, for example, or other like Chinese cinema as well, and then those are also inspired by Hollywood, and then like it's all of it is like every movie from all around the world are inspired by other cultures, and they're trying to like improve upon each other, so it's like people saying like they're trying to make it look like Hollywood, and I'm like, okay, Japanese films also look like Hollywood. Hollywood also looks like Japanese films from sometimes, like, so what are we trying to say here? Like what are we trying to say? Why can't you just say like it looks like cinema in general? Ay. This is why movie discourse online is mind-numbing to me, because I am reading people's opinions who obviously don't know much about films or have not seen much films in general, so I kind of stayed off. Boomerang, I am with you 100%. Give me Dorohedoro season 2 right now. My goat Hayashi has finally been he has broken free of the Attack on Titan burden that has been put to him. Now he can finally make Dorohedoro. I cannot wait for that. It's probably gonna be on Netflix as well, isn't it? But yeah, have to wait for the Mappa Stage 2026. I haven't even been following that for a while. But to be fair, I would say most Hollywood films do feel more commercial as compared to something like a Koreeda film. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like there's some slop, you know, every now and again. You know, it's like nothing wrong to say there, but yeah. But I feel like we're all in the, you know, in like the same understanding here. You know, like in general. You know, I want to move on to this news. This new Ghost in the Shell that has been announced. Well, it has not been announced. It's been announced like a couple of like months ago. Like, new Ghost in the Shell is old news, but the PV that they released, this is new news. New news? I have some thoughts. Here's the poster first, by the way. God damn. I don't know. Gonna be honest, I don't know how to feel. I'm kind of hype. But I'm also, I don't know. Here's the thing, right? I've seen Ghost in the Shell. I've seen like the Mamoru Oshii Ghost in the Shell movie. I've only seen it once. I do plan on rewatching it again. I have not seen Standalone Complex, but I do have like a better understanding of like the kind of like the vibes of that show. The thing is, from what I understand, those anime adaptations, the Mamoru Oshii films and the Ghost in the Shell, the Standalone Complex anime series, from what I understand, those two adaptations are not technically faithful to the original manga. It's just not. That is my understanding, and that is the reason why they are making a new Ghost in the Shell anime by Studio Science Saru, who obviously nowadays most people know from making Dandadan. I know them from making Devilman Crybaby back in the day, which is why the art style of the of this new anime has that original manga feel to it. Is this a remake like Eva or a sequel? This is a full-on... This is a adaptation of the original manga as faithful as they can do. From what I gather, the original Mamoru Oshii Ghost in the Shell movie that most people know and that most people cite and what most people think of Ghost in the Shell isn't really what the original manga is like, and that's why they're making this. So this is supposed to be more in line with the original manga. I've read like the first 2 chapters of the original manga. There's some weird shit. Let's just say I'm not really a big fan of the manga, though to be fair, I'm like, again, like I've only read like 2 chapters, so maybe I'll read more and see like what the vibe is. But like, there's a lot of sex. there's a lot of kinky shit happening in the original Ghost in the Shell manga. But yeah. Hopefully this will not... I'm gonna mute this. Because I don't want to get copyright claim from like the audio, but I will let the visuals play. So for those of you who have not seen, you know, like the visuals yet. There you go. My feelings on this is that this does feel like the original manga's art style being faithfully recreated in the anime medium. I'm not fully hyped for this. I'm excited for this, but I'm not fully hyped for this because I don't know if this is going to be something that I like tonally. I don't know how to describe it. Like Ghost in the Shell to me, I'm more like the identity of Ghost in the Shell, currently speaking, is more tied to the Mamoru Oshii original movie, right? As opposed to the original manga. So I don't know. I am excited though. I am excited. I'm not hyped, but I am excited. Like, they have some really good people in the staff as well, but yeah. Something to look forward to, I guess. I should say that I do plan on reacting to Standalone Complex sometime in the future because I have not seen that yet. But I don't know if, I don't know if the YouTube audience are keen for a Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex reaction. I don't know. You don't see that kind of reaction popping up on YouTube. I don't know if that's gonna be like something that maybe it's gonna be on Patreon only. I don't know. But moving on from this, I do want to talk about the Oscars. Again, like I said, I was planning on talking about this like last week, but then, blackout happened, couldn't do it. But yeah, the Oscars, the nominations are released. I have not seen most of the films. I do plan to watch all of the films that I can eventually in the future. Some of them probably are gonna be movie nights. Some of them are probably gonna be something that I will be reacting to on the channel as well. And I've only seen this list once, so I'm gonna like briefly scroll to like the nominations. I'll talk about the ones that I'm actually like. I'll talk when I have actually something to say. Actor in a leading role. I'm just gonna say, I think Timmy has this in the bag. I have not seen Marty Supreme yet. This film has not been released where I live. So I cannot really say much, but I do know that Timmy has this in the bag. It's a really tough competition though. But I do genuinely think Timmy has this in the bag. I don't know about who's gonna win like the supporting role uh category though. This one I am not entirely sure. Like 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 to me it's like between Sean Penn or Stellan Skarsgård. Actress in a leading role, I don't know because I haven't seen any of these films. Supporting role, Tiana Taylor probably. All right. This is the category that I do want to talk about because I have seen some discourse online in regards to the animated feature film category. So, we got Arco, French animated film. We got Elio, Pixar film. K-pop Demon Hunters, probably the most talked about film of the year in terms of like animation. We got Little Amélie, also a French film, and then we have Zootopia 2. The animated feature film category has always been, in my opinion, like the worst category. It's always been like the worst category imaginable. They've been doing good. They've been doing good like these past 2 or 3 Oscars. But with every good choice that they put on here, there's always gonna be a time where something like Boss Baby gets nominated and we all scratch our heads. And we wonder why isn't this other film being nominated and whatever. And that is kind of how I feel with this year's animated feature list. Because Elio, I like Elio. Don't get me wrong. I'm like one of 12 people who watch Elio. I don't think it's Oscar worthy. Like, let's be real here. This is like 7 out of 10 Pixar. Like it's good, don't get me wrong. I liked it. Animated feature worthy to be nominated? Come on. Come on. Come on. Arco and Little Amélie I have not seen, but they're French, so I'm gonna give it a pass. French animated films? Alright, I'll give them a pass. They're probably good. I do want to watch them eventually, but again, like they're not, none of them has been like released yet. K-pop Demon Hunters? I have not seen yet, but I do want to check it out. I'm sure it's good. But this feels like the popular vote. Like this is like the popular choice. You know what I mean? Like, again, like this is nothing towards like how good or bad the film actually is. I have not seen it yet. I do want to watch it eventually. Maybe a movie reaction. I don't know. Zootopia 2? I mean, it's alright. It's okay. Animated feature film worthy of the Oscars? I don't know. And then people online, especially, on Twitter. The funniest part is there are people who are upset that Demon Slayer was not nominated. Look, you're gonna look me in the eyes. You know, look me in the eyes. You're gonna tell me that you think Demon Slayer is like Oscar worthy? Like, come on. Let's be real here. It got nominated for a Golden Globe, so maybe it is. They did put a Demon Slayer video. The thing is, with like the animated feature films this year, I'm like trying to think of like, I don't know, man. I feel like this year is kind of weak. Not talking about like the nominees, but I'm just like in general. Like there's some pretty good films. But like 10 out of 10? I don't know, man. I would put 100 meters here. I feel like 100 meters is an Oscar movie. Because people talk about like the Demon Slayer movie. Some people were also talking about like the Chainsaw Man movie. I love the Chainsaw Man movie. It's like one of my favorite films of the year. Personally, hot take, I don't think it's Oscar worthy. It's in my top 10. But I would put 100 meters over that if I were to nominate it. If I were to nominate a movie for an Oscar. Let me go to, you know, good old Letterboxd and oh, suddenly my monitor stopped showing for a bit. All right. 2025 films. Let's go with like animation, and then let's go with like average rating. All right. Chainsaw Man movie is number 1. Which is not surprising. Again, like it's one of my favorite films. Would I put this on like the Oscar nominations list? Not really. I don't know. It's a really good film though. It's great. It's one of my favorites once again. Why is Taco Piece Original Sin here? Why is JJK here? Oh, this is like the movie compilation. Okay. I feel like there's not much going on here. Is this a hot take? Is this a hot take? I feel like 2025 animation is not really popping off. Like, there's like 1 or 2 bangers. But like, some of these are not even like actual films. Some of these are like compilation films. Why is there a Meat Canyon movie here? Like what is happening? This is a weak year. Yes, exactly. Like look, 100 meters, goated. 100 meters is like an Oscar film, if you know what I mean. You know. I don't know. There's a few like Chinese animation here that I have not seen, that I've heard some really good stuff about. Don't get me wrong, like this one for example. I've seen Neja 2, but I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like this year is kind of a weak year for animated films. You know, 2025. Let me go to like 2024. You know, there's like a couple of like TV shows here. Ignore them. Wait, can I just? Yeah, hi TV shows. 2024, we have Look Back. Flow was amazing. Memoir of a Snail is also amazing. The Wild Robot is probably like the more mainstream stuff, but it got nominated, and I still think it should be nominated. Like it's like the mainstream pick, if that makes sense. Like, this was a stronger year when it comes to animation. And then you look at 2023. We got the Spider-Verse film, which is like the very popular but also really good film that should probably be nominated, and it was nominated, right? What else do we have here? Like, we got The Boy and the Heron, we got a Hayao Miyazaki film. Robot Dreams, I've heard, was also pretty good. There's like, there's this film that is like entirely hand painted, frame by frame. If you've ever watched like what is it, like Loving Vincent? Like, it's from like the same people that made that film. Banger year. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Like, there's some good stuff here, but like, not enough for like an Oscar-worthy, nomination or whatever. So this is like, I don't know. Zootopia 2 is, maybe K-pop Demon Hunter is actually gonna win. I don't know. Games releasing in 2026 are more interesting than releasing movies. 2026? I don't know, man. I feel like 2026 is I feel like there's a lot of bangers, releasing in 2026, no? For movies, at least. Like, we're getting Dune. We're getting The Odyssey. We're getting a new Godzilla film, -0. That's gonna be hype. What else are we gonna get? The Alejandro Inarritu film with Tom Cruise. Kind of interested in Hail Mary as well, the Phil Miller film with Ryan Gosling. I don't know, man. 2026 movies are kind of, they're the Steven Spielberg film. Like, come on. 2026 games, we got GTA 6. I can't really think of any other games releasing this year. I don't know. Some of the games that I am excited for have not been, they haven't gotten like a release date yet. So I don't know. RE9, that's true. I haven't played. I've only played like RE2 and 3, so that's fair. I'm also kind of interested in Fable as well, but like, I don't know. Either way, we're eating good. Either way, we are eating good. Are you going to play Pragmata? I don't know. it has not grabbed my attention yet. I know what game you're talking about though. Like I know what Pragmata is. It hasn't. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for like reviews to be released. Hear them, talk them, listen to them, watch them, and then I'll see the vibes. Control Resonant is my yeah, Control Resonant is this year, huh? I thought it was gonna be like 2027. No, it's 2026. I gotta get to Alan Wake eventually, man. I gotta get back to my gaming arc on the channel. I got a lot to catch up. Gears of War? Oh, well, that's this year, huh? I'm not a Gears of War guy. I never played the original. Last week I rewatched Gladiator. Damn, what a movie it is. It's a pretty good movie. Gladiator is a pretty good movie. But overall, the Oscars, I'm like, most of it is exactly what I feel like, what I think was gonna get nominated, got nominated. Let's just put it that way. Like, there hasn't been any major surprises here and there. The only thing that I was surprised is that no other choice was not nominated for international feature film. And I haven't even seen the film yet, and I know that should have been here. But then I look at like the list and I'm like, these are all pretty good movies as well. Like I'm sure these are all pretty good as well. So it's like, yeah. Oh yeah, and F1 for Best Picture. This is the sneak. This is like the sneak. Everything else is like, sure. Yep. Kind of. F1. I mean, I like it, but it's like, Best Picture material? Come on. F1 is at most an 8 out of 10. Like, it is at most an 8 out of 10 film. It is a good film. I liked it. Like the plot is super simple. It's pretty much Top Gun Maverick with cars. Best Picture? Is Weapons there in Best Picture? No, but it is nominated for a bunch of other categories. Amy Madigan got nominated. Weapons is a pretty good film. It's a pretty good film. What are we watching tonight? We are going to be watching Kiki's Delivery Service. That is a film that I was supposed to be watching last week, but power outage, could not stream during the day because complete blackout. Had no electricity. What can I do? But yeah, we are going to be watching Kiki's Delivery Service in like 15 minutes. So once the stream ends on YouTube, hop on over to the Patreon. We're going to be doing a movie night together. You don't have to be a Patreon subscriber, just be a Patreon member. You can watch the stream with me for free. Yeah, it's my first time watching Kiki's Delivery Service. I've been meaning to watch that film for a long while. It won a poll last year, months ago. Never really came to be. I do apologize, so I feel like I gotta watch it. After that, after we are finished with Kiki's delivery service tonight, next week, and pretty much the month of February. The month of February is gonna be Oscar movie nights. I'm planning on watching as much movies nominated for an Oscar, at least the ones that are, available for me to watch. So, yeah. Do expect next month that I will be reacting to like Marty Supreme, for example. And I do want to watch No Other Choice, even though it's not nominated like it should be. I do want to watch that. I'll check out Frankenstein as well, Begonia. I've already seen Sinners and One Battle After Another, for those of you who are asking. For those of you who are wondering, I've seen these two films in cinemas. I've seen these two films on IMAX, and it is transcendental. They're fantastic. They're great. But everything else I have not seen. So, if it's available for me to watch, like if I can watch it online, if I can somehow get like the online version of it, I'm gonna watch it. Which order, which one I'm gonna be watching first, and whatever, I don't know yet. Gonna wait next week for me to like figure it out. But yeah, Marty Supreme is gonna change your life. It was good. That's what I've heard, man. That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing. You know what I've also been hearing? The behind the scenes stuff in regards to like Josh Safdie, that's kind of like kind of a not what I want to hear, But yeah, mostly the Best Picture nominees. By the way, I'm focusing mostly on like the Best Picture nominees. So if I can watch Begonia, I'm gonna be watching Begonia, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Secret Agent. If that's out, I do want to check that out along with Sentimental Value. Maybe Train Dreams. F1 I've already seen. Hamnet, if it's available for me to watch, I'll watch it. So yeah, next month, cinema month. It's gonna be a cinema month. It's kind of what I planned last year. So for those of you who don't know, like last year I was planning on reacting to like some of the Best Picture nominees. Never really came to be. I only reacted to like challengers, which I don't think was even nominated, and then Nora. But then that's it. So hopefully this, next month, now that we're just doing, like the streams and whatever, we can get this out of the way. And also Concare, not Concare, sorry. KR Makes Films. You ask before, what do I think about Koreeda making a live action adaptation of Look Back? I am super hype. I am super hyped too. I boldly say that I think that live action adaptation is gonna be better than the anime and the manga. Dare I say. I think it's gonna be better. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling. That I am going to love that film a lot more than the anime and the manga. Because my feelings on the anime, I mean, maybe you guys have not seen like my review of the anime. Like it is like an almost solid 10 out of 10, but I have a few gripes with the anime. And then like the book, like the book itself, like this is a really good book. It's not really my favorite Fujimoto work, to be fair, like I still would put Goodbye Eri over this. But like, I feel like that live action adaptation is gonna be better. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's gonna hit different. But either way, you know, like worst case scenario, we're just getting another good look back, adaptation. You know, like worst case scenario, you know, like worst case scenario, we're just gonna be getting like another solid look back adaptation. So it's like we're getting like 3 good look back versions that anyone can watch, and you can say like either one is good, which is fantastic, you know, which is great. You should read Goodbye Eri. Goodbye Eri is actually like the thing, is actually like the manga that I am actually unsure how they're gonna do an adaptation of. I don't know. Because like we know, you know, if any of you have read Goodbye Eri, you know how it is framed. It is framed like a camera. But at the same time, like the magic of Goodbye Eri is being able to see the magic of Goodbye Eri is that we are reading it and understanding that this is trying to be a camera. Once it is adapted to like either live action or anime, then it's just gonna be a movie. I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's like something magical about it, you know? And to answer your question, Conquer, I have seen the Fujimoto 17 to 26 adaptation. I've watched all of them, I believe. The first episode was phenomenal. I love the sisters episode. I have read like some of the, you know, like the manga beforehand. But yeah, some good stuff. Some solid stuff. Some excellent stuff. Imagine if they announce a Western live-action adaptation of Look Back 2. They probably will. They probably will. It's gonna be like when they announced they're gonna be making a Your Name live-action adaptation, and it has never come to fruition. I've always felt that Fujimoto had always wanted to make films. Instead, his compositions feel so cinematic, especially the running panel from Look Back. Fujimoto always wanted to make a film. Fork found in kitchen. Gonna ask a really bold question now. How is Chainsaw Man? I've been missing out for like 2 years. How is the Chainsaw Man manga? Chat, how are you feeling about the Chainsaw Man manga? No spoilers, obviously, but I just want to know. How is the Chainsaw Man manga right now? And is there like any news on when part 2 is gonna end? Like are we nearing the end of part 2, or we're still like how are we, like what is the situation with part 2? Because I want to get back to it eventually, but like I want to know the situation with part 2 first, especially with in you know, in terms of like in terms of like where we are in the story. Like, are we nearing the end? Judging from the lack of response, I'm guessing none of you have been up to date with part 2. I've only read part 1. I mean, that's fair enough. give a walkthrough of your books. There's not much to say. These are all my sketchbooks from like back in high school and college. I don't know, like here's like a comic that I made a long time ago. The ones over here, like these ones that you're seeing, like these two right here, they're not really my books. They're my dad's. These are Detective Conan and Bowling King. Anybody know what Bowling King the manga is? Again, like this is my dad's. This isn't mine. This is my dad's. I just, you know, like he needed a place to put these things, and I'm like, the shelves are free. You want to put it there? You know, like, okay, sure, fine. So there's like a bunch of like really old manga here. Like there's Detective Conan. There's another one called Detective Kindachi. There's this one called Break Shot. I don't know what this is. And then there's like the Ring, which is still sealed. Like my dad bought this and he has not opened this yet. Dad? My dad is, you know, the reason why I love film is because of my dad. I feel like some people kind of, you know, have like the same pipeline in that regard, you know. Yeah, my dad loves like detective stuff, you know. Like there's a reason why, again, like why there's like Detective Conan and whatever. Like my dad loves detective like stories and whatever. He's like, there's like a whole stack of like Spy Family manga collection in his room. So he's more up to date on Spy Family than me. I'm a fake fan. I've only seen like the first anime season. He's reading the manga, you know. He's in a different league from me. He needs to play Ace Attorney. And then over here are just like some of the books that I personally bought. Plato's Republic. There's I got Plato's Republic. There's Macbeth and Julius Caesar. There's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. The Poppy War trilogy. I have not read the entirety of the first book, so I do want to finish this trilogy eventually. This is How You Lose the Time War, which is a book about time travel. I will not say more. Really good book. And then I bought these two because I was kind of intrigued with the basic premise on why these books existed. This is Iron Widow, and basically what happened is the author watched Darling in the Franxx, hated it, and said I could do better, and so she made the book. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how that goes. I'm also like halfway through reading this. And then this one is not a fiction book. This is more so a political book. This is the Jakarta Method. You can read more on what this book is about on your own, if you guys want to. Do check out Climber manga. I will eventually... Oh, speaking of, since you just gave me a recommendation. I don't know. YouTube is not showing me this. Hang on. So if you go to like my YouTube channel, on the homepage, like you see like there's these, like the posts category and whatever. YouTube is not showing all of my posts here because I made a post like last week. This post right here is not being shown by YouTube for some reason on my homepage. I don't know why, but do check this post out. This is basically the post where you guys can just go and give your suggestions on what anime, movie, game that you want me to cover on the channel. And just leave a comment, type as much as you want, and then I will, I'll read it, take it into consideration, put it on a list, and then, maybe it'll be covered in the future. So yeah. Your sketch looks similar to the Kingdom manga. I mean, it is very Chinese inspired. All right, chat. It is time. We should be doing movie nights by now. So, chat, I am going to hop into the Patreon. Again, we're going to be watching Kiki's Delivery Service. This is my first time watching the movie. You can join in if you guys want to. If even if this is like your first watch as well, we can watch the film together. We'll discuss it. I will hang on. Well, I'll just do this. That's the link to the Patreon if you guys want to go there, watch the movie with me together. But this is it for the YouTube stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you all hopefully in the Patreon where we can chat, discuss, watch a film together. Again, reminder once again, you don't have to be a Patreon sub to watch the live stream. You just have to be a member. But the VODs will be for Patreon members only. So if you don't, if you don't want to spend a lick of money, hop on to the Patreon right now. So that is it. I will see you all there. Thank you all so much for tuning in on the YouTube stream. It's been a blast. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. See you on the Patreon. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.